Now I'm fired up. I don't even know why I'm fired. It's week 15. And I've got right here in my hands playoff clinching scenarios.
Let's
and
go.
we have new to playoff clinching scenarios in 2020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with playoff clinching scenarios that did not have them as of last week. And we start our 2020 playoff clinching scenarios back in 1995. I'm lending perspective.
Whoa. Okay.
Because I'm locked in. I'm lending perspective. 1995. The Buffalo Bills had already lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
True.
Then they missed the playoffs in 1994, and everyone was wondering, is this, in fact, finally the end? You miss 4 straight Super Bowls, and then the hangover finally hits you. 7-9, you're out. 1995, though, Bills made it back to the playoffs, won the AFC East, and then won their wild card weekend game, Shula versus Levy.
Wow.
Okay?
Awesome.
Marv Levy on one sideline, Don Shula on another. The Bills and Jim Kelly scored the first 27 points of that wild card game, boat racing the tandem of Dan Marino and O.J. McDuffie right out of Western New York. See ya.
O.J. McDuffie.
Out. To this day, that was the last playoff win of the Buffalo Bills organization. 25 years. To this day, the last time the Buffalo Bills won the AFC Eastern Division. To this day. And on this day, in my hand, prior to Week 15, I have an AFC East clinching scenario for the Buffalo Bills. Put it up, Don Bowie. It's a sight for sore Buffalo Bills Mafia eyes. All they got to do is win a football game in Denver to kick off the NFL Network doubleheader on Saturday. Or sit back and hope the New England Patriots put them in the playoffs. Go figure that. And they clinched a flat-out playoff berth if they lose and the Ravens lose to Jacksonville. Let's just throw that one out. But all you got to do is go into 5-8 Denver, win a football game, and they clinch the AFC East. How about them apples? Playoff clinching scenario already taken care of for your defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. As a matter of fact, they've already won the AFC West. We have a playoff clinching scenario for the entire AFC shooting match for the Kansas City Chiefs entering Week 15. Put it up on the screen, Don Bowie. Put it up. We're all fired up. Kansas City Chiefs have to win in New Orleans and then hope the Bills had already lost in Denver or tied. And then the Steelers have to lose to the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll find out why the phrase is a dumber and dumber chance today in a second. But it exists in the ether. It exists in the ether that the defending Super Bowl champions could walk into the final 2 weeks of this season with the proverbial nothing to play for. And then have the lone bye week already in their back pocket in the new playoff format, only one bye week. That goes to the top seed. Not likely, but it's out there. The Pittsburgh Steelers could not clinch an AFC North last week. Couldn't get it done. Can this week. All they have to do on Monday Night Football is win. They'll know, however, prior, if the New York Football Giants beat the Browns on Sunday Night Football, they'll know it's already happened. They got to win or have the Browns lose, and they clinch the AFC North thanks to Lamar Jackson doing what he did on the field and then off the field to get back on the field on Monday Night Football. Tennessee Titans have a playoff clinching scenario. Welcome them to the 2020 playoff clinching scenario group. By the way, this is all fresh off the presses from the NFL. This came out this very morning. Tennessee Titans, all they got to do is win in Detroit and hope the Ravens lose in Jacksonville. And they're in. There's a whole bunch on the screen right here, radio audience, of a partridge in a pear tree. I'm not going to read it out. There's a whole bunch of other ways, but they do have to win in Detroit to have that all kick-started. Bottom line is the Titans have a playoff clinching scenario going into this weekend. That's your AFC. Everybody else, all Dolphins fans, what about us? Colts fans, what about us? You'll have to wait till Week 16. Probably have to win to make those happen, too. These are the only AFC playoff clinching scenarios possible entering Week 15. Let's go to the NFC. where Green Bay's already clinched the NFC North. They do not have an NFC clinching scenario here. Might be obvious to you since they and the Saints are tied atop the conference and a whole host of teams right in their rearview mirror, including the Rams and the Seahawks as objects closer than they appear potentially. And the Rams and Seahawks do have playoff clinching scenarios enter this week, but we'll start with the Saints. Currently now your 2 seed. They can clinch the NFC South with a win against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's all they got to do is beat the defending Super Bowl champions.
No big deal.
No big deal. NBD. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing, however, in the early window. How about this, Saints fans? Rooting for the Falcons. Because if the Falcons beat the Bucs, that's the way it is over if you go ahead and that's another way that you can clinch the NFC South. A New Orleans win or a Tampa Bay loss. Or a New Orleans tie and a Tampa Bay tie. Very rare possibility. But there is an interesting scenario. When Minnesota and Chicago play, if they end in a tie, that is a playoff clinching scenario for all 3 other teams remaining in combination with some other results. The Los Angeles Rams. Congratulations, Los Angeles. You have a playoff clinching scenario of needing a win this weekend. And you're playing the Jets. I feel like Oprah. You've got a playoff clinching. So all I got to do is just win or tie the Jets. Or if the Vikings and Bears tie, go figure. If they wind up 6-7-1 each by the end of the weekend, the Rams are in. Seattle Seahawks. All they have to do is win at Washington football team. All they got to do is go east, win in an early window, or tie Washington football team, and the Seahawks are in. Or if the Vikings and Bears tie, they're in. Go figure. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a playoff clinching scenario this very weekend. All they have to do is win in Atlanta and then hope the Vikings and Bears do in fact tie.
That would be amazing.
That is what we call threading the old needle. So there's that. But if your team basically has a playoff clinching scenario now and a win doesn't clinch it for you, that means week 16 should have a very favorable playoff clinching scenario underneath your tree for Christmas week. So keep that in mind if you have not heard your team's name right here. I geek out on this stuff, man. I geek out on it. I love it.
It's that time of year.
I love it. And I love knowing this stuff backwards and forwards because to me, that's my job on Sunday mornings is to know this stuff backwards and forwards. Let Mooch and Kurt and Irv tell you why something happened or why something will happen or why something won't happen. I'll tell you what will happen if this happens. Because this is where rubber meets the road, folks. This is where you lift all them weights and win all them games or try to win all them games all year is to get to this moment in week 15 with a chance to play on after week 17. Can't wait. And it all starts tomorrow with the Raiders needing to beat the Los Angeles Chargers to have a playoff clinching scenario at some point, probably in week 17. Because they're sniffing it right now. And then you got the Los Angeles Chargers with Austin Eckler, who was on our show yesterday, trying to win games. Trying to win as many games they possibly can to make sure that their coach, if they want to play with him or for him after this year, is still there. So there's that. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.